Tonight on Elon Local News.
President Connie Book prepares to take office as Elon's 9th president.
4 candidates are in the running for the Dean of Elon's School of Communications. What you need to know about the candidates.
At some point, you have to stop talking about it and really do it.
Helping others through music, how one student is taking action to help hurricane victims.
All that and more.
Elon Local News starts right now.
From the Jane and Brian Williams studio at Elon University School of Communications, you're watching Elon Local News.
Good evening, Elon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Perry Elliott-Irani.
And I'm Emily Harrison.
We are only 3 days away from Connie Ledoux's book's first day as president of Elon University. Our Rachel Ellis is live outside the Powell building to tell us about Book's first day in the president's office. Rachel?
Yes, Perry and Emily, this is the office of the president right behind me, where Connie Ledoux's Book will begin her term as Elon's 9th president this Thursday. Now it's going to be a very busy day for our new president as she begins her journey as Elon's 9th president, starting with a 6 a.m. workout. So for you early risers, head on over to Corey Gym for an early morning workout. This is going to be a momentous opportunity and moment for our president and the Elon community. But if you're not an early riser, I understand. Head on over to Global Commons at 9:40. Students are going to be encouraged to write down on note cards their hopes and dreams for the future of Elon and get a chance and opportunity to speak to President Book. Now, if you're hungry, head on over to Lakeside for a lunch with President Book at noon. And if that wasn't enough for you, come on and support the Phoenix at 7 p.m. for the last game ever in Alumni Gym. President Book will be sitting alongside select students, the president's box, and she might be saying a little bit something during the halftime performance. Now, as you can see, it's going to be a very booked day, but stick with Elon News Network for more information and coverage of President Book's first day in office. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Rachel. Before Dr. Book takes office, though, President Lambert has a busy last few days ahead of him. College coffee will be held in honor of President Lambert and his wife tomorrow morning at 9:40 in Alumni Gym, giving students, faculty, and staff an opportunity to thank them for their work at the school and in the community.
Another change coming to campus, a new School of Communications dean. 4 candidates will be at Elon over the next few weeks. And Alex Rote has more on their past achievements as they prepare to visit campus.
Current Associate Provost of Academic Excellence, Brooke Barnett, is the only internal candidate in the dean search. Barnett is also a professor of communications at Elon, the chair of the School of Communications Media Board, and a member of the president's senior staff. She came to Elon in 2001 from Indiana University, where she earned her doctorate in mass communication law. Sonia Due is the director of the School of Mass Communication at Loyola University in New Orleans. She is a former television news reporter and anchor who earned her bachelor's in journalism from Louisiana State University, master's in journalism from Northwestern University, and her PhD in journalism from the University of Missouri. Rochelle Ford is the current chair of the Public Relations Department and a professor at Syracuse University. Before starting at Syracuse, she was a faculty member and administrator at Howard University. Ford earned a doctorate from Southern Illinois University and has a public relations accreditation. Arizona State University's Cronkite School of Journalism Associate Professor, Bill Silcock, is the 4th and final candidate. He serves as the curator of the U.S. State Department's Hubert H. Humphrey Fulbright Fellowship Program, as a 2-time Fulbright Fellow himself. Silcock earned his doctorate degree from the University of Missouri and has a background in producing, anchoring, and reporting for multiple local television news and radio stations. Alex Rote, Elon Local News.
If all goes according to plan, the new dean will be announced in mid-April and will start on June 1st. The search committee invites students to attend 4 30-minute panels in Turner Theater, followed by a Q&A. The first one was this afternoon, and other panels will be held on March 5th from 4 to 5 p.m. and March 8th from 4:15 to 5:15 p.m.
Silcock is on campus and gave his presentation where he shared his vision for the school if he is chosen to be the dean. Silcock's main focuses are growing international connections to the School of Communications, creating doctrine programs, and growing the sport management program. Silcock says he's been preparing for this job his whole life. Candidate Brooke Barnett was not on campus today, but told ENN the new dean will have a job very different from the current one, Paul Parsons. While Parsons had to focus on increasing the size and credibility of the school, Barnett says the new dean will need to continue his momentum and raise the bar even higher.
I think it's a matter of sort of taking what's here and really good and then taking it all to the next level. Be dynamic, have those appropriate external relationships to raise the resources to fund your appetite for the innovative things that you want to be doing in the school.
Barnett will give her presentation on Thursday, March 2nd at 2:30 in Turner Theater.
ENN spoke with another candidate today, Rochelle Ford. Ford says she's bringing a focus on diversity and inclusion to the School of Communications and even joked about bringing the snow from Syracuse. More on that interview will be on our website, elonnewsnetwork.com, later tonight. And finally, candidate Sonia Doohy was unavailable to comment today, but she told ENN she looks forward to meeting students on campus.
Continuing the conversation of the events in Parkland, Florida, we'll sit down with a professor and a student that are taking action.
And it's the finals basketball game in Alumni Gym. Miles Garrett will join us live with all the action.
You're watching Elon Local News.
Protests organized by high school students are happening around the country since the shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Colleges and universities across the country are releasing statements saying high school students who choose to protest will not impact admissions decisions. Elon University administrators have released their own statement this afternoon. Vice President for Enrollment Greg Zeiser says, quote, Elon University encourages civic engagement and also supports safe academic environments for all students. Prospective students who are penalized by their schools for participating in peaceful protests will not be adversely impacted in their Elon application process, end quote. Elon will be holding a vigil on Wednesday in wake of the mass shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Joining us now in the studio is Senior Lecturer in Religious Studies, L.D. Russell, who will be speaking at the vigil, and Elon sophomore and graduate of Stoneman Marjorie Douglas High School, Brendan Duff. Dr. Russell and Brendan, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
It's good to be here.
Appreciate you coming on. So, Brendan, tell me, what was going through your mind when you first heard about the shooting happening at your former high school?
I mean, it was absolutely terrifying. I was FaceTime with actually one of my friends who is also a Douglas alumni, and she got the notification on her phone, and she told me that there was an active shooter at Douglas, and my heart dropped. I mean, a bunch of the students that have been speaking out, and not to mention my little brother is a freshman there, you know, my best friends, and so I was absolutely terrified. I tried to get in contact with them as soon as I could, and all the calls were bouncing, so it definitely made it difficult. And I was talking to my friend Teresa, who's a freshman here actually, and she's also a Douglas alumni, and we were just saying how we couldn't get through to them, and it was about an hour before we did. It was really scary.
As you mentioned, Brendan, your little brother, went to the school and was there during the shooting. How was he doing?
He was definitely really shaken up. I mean, we're both so thankful. You know, he actually has about the majority of his classes in the freshman building where the tragedy occurred. And so, you know, we were just beyond thankful that it wasn't another day or it hadn't been at a different hour during the day, because the chances are really, really high that he would have been in those classrooms with the students that he knew.
Now, Professor Russell, tell us about the event that's coming up that you guys are both involved in.
Okay, both Brendan and Teresa Prather, who was a student in my Core 110 class and whom I know, are putting together a vigil in honor of the victims of the shooting. And more broadly, I think, to recognize the issue of gun violence and that it is a pervasive issue. It will be on the front steps of Mosley at 7:15 on Wednesday evening. I will be offering some comments. Chaplain Jan Fuller will be there. I understand that Twisted Measure will be doing a song.
That's great.
Some comments from you and Teresa, which I look forward to very much. And it's an opportunity for students to learn more about the issue, to come together to support community members who have been touched by this tragedy, and to figure out together what we can do to change the future.
Now, Brendan, how do you feel that some of your classmates have been accused of being crisis actors or people who are paid to be in that situation?
I wish I could I could give a little more clarity on that. I really have no idea where that's coming from. I mean, like I mentioned, they are my best friends back at school. Cameron Caskey, Alex Wynn, Sophie Whitney are people that when I go back home, they're the first people I see. So I don't know. I mean, I was there on their first day of high school. I was in classes with them. We did theater together since they were 14. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's definitely just people who are in denial of this and want to counteract this, gun control agenda, and are saying, these are people that are paid to do this. This is, they're trained for this, but I could not tell you why that's happening.
Dr. Russell, I saw you nod when I was reading the statement from Elon University earlier.
Yes.
In your time here,
Yes.
despite all the shootings that have occurred, have you seen a statement like that from the university?
No, this is quite a moment. This is quite a moment. And I'm absolutely thrilled to see Elon University make that statement. And it's the kind of thing that Elon University does. Elon gets it. And we want to support these students. We want, of course, students to be safe. We all want to be safe, right? And I think it's also why when Brendan and Teresa approached administrators about the possibility of holding this vigil, they found support at that end. So yeah, this is a moment like, I can't even tell you, as someone my age who came of age in the late 60s, early 70s, at a time in this country when things were so divided, in so many ways there are parallels with today. And what I see is finally a generation who are stepping up to do something about it, to make a difference, to go up against those who would come back with some cynical response, right? And actually try to change things for the future. I've been waiting for this generation for a long time. Yeah. I'm so glad you're finally here.
All right, well, thank you, Dr. Russell, for coming onto the show, and Brendan.
And hopefully your friends stay safe, and I'm glad that your family is safe still. Well, thank you for joining us. The vigil will be on Wednesday, March 1st at 7:15 on the steps in front of Mosley. And after the break, how one student is lending a helping hand through music and dance.
You're watching Elon Local News.
Elon's Student Government Association brought the bike-sharing program Zaxter to campus, but now it's ending. Zaxter originally began after students requested a bike share program, but after just 1 year, Zaxter will not be renewed on campus. Student Body Secretary Rachel Hobbs says this was a disappointing decision to make.
We looked at all of our numbers for this year and we kind of felt that, yes, it would be great to continue with the program, but we really weren't in a place where I think it would be fiscally responsible for us to renew the contract.
SGA is now looking for help to fund Campus Recreation's bike rental program. 20 schools, 6 states, and many faiths are now coming together. That's what happened at the Ripple Conference held at Elon over the weekend. Elon's Truett Center held the conference to openly discuss religious, social, and political issues. Associate Chaplain for Catholic Life Peter Tremblay says the point of this conference is to discuss topics that might ordinarily divide people.
It strengthens our own convictions, our own spirituality, and our own religious traditions, because in the process, I'm convinced, we'll realize we have far more in common than we have difference.
Nearly 150 people attended the conference. That's 3 times more than when it started 3 years ago. Elon senior Allie McCorkle says attending the conference has her optimistic about the future.
I'm glad that I had my time here.
How passionate people are, and how sort of our idea is that all of our attendees are like the stones, and that starts a ripple. And I think these ripples have spread, and our ripple is spreading.
For the technical difficulties there. For more information about the Truett Center and their events, you can visit their webpage or visit them at Newman Lumen Pavilion.
11%. That's the average percentage of North Carolina residents who can name the leader of the North Carolina Senate, according to a recently released Elon poll. The most recent poll measures voters' political knowledge by asking them to identify local and national elected officials. While nearly 9 out of 10 North Carolina residents could tell you who the vice president is, that number fell to just 8% when asked about some local North Carolina politicians. We decided to put it to the test and ask a few Elon students if they knew who the senators are of their home state.
God. Elizabeth Warren and I don't know the other guy.
Oh, I know he's a Democrat. I know he beat. I'm just gonna say Cooper. That's the only name that comes to mind right now.
Oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. Mike Pence.
Richard Burr and oh God, I can't remember the other. I know Tom Tillis.
Oh, the speaker. God, if you said his name, I remember, but I don't know.
Like Speaker of the House. Yeah. Paul Ryan.
I don't even know what job that is.
Pretty much everything you ask me is gonna be no.
Well, we had a wet and dreary day. Brian Ray is live on
kidding.
Citroen Plaza with your Phoenix 5-day forecast. Brian, what's it like out there?
Thanks, Emily and Perry. Well, we were a little spoiled at the end of last week with those sunny and warm days. Today was pretty gross out with rain on and off throughout the day and a high at around 55. Looking ahead at our Phoenix 5-day forecast, that rain will return later on in the week, but for tomorrow we can expect to see sunny skies with a high at around 62 degrees. On Wednesday, though, that rain will return with showers on and off throughout the day, with those showers turning steady overnight with a high of 60. And on Thursday, we can expect a 100% chance of rain throughout the day with a high of 62. And on Friday, we can expect to see strong wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour with a high of 57. But on Saturday, that sun will return, which is great weather for those prospective students on campus this weekend for Fellows Weekend. Live with your Phoenix 5-day forecast, I'm Brian Ray. Emily and Perry, back to you.
Thanks, Brian, and thanks for standing out there. If you're looking for something to do, here's what's happening this week at Elon. Tonight, there will be a Black History Month dance concert. That performance will be in McCrary Theater at 7:30.
Working on a research paper. Tomorrow will be a workshop on how to write a research proposal abstract. This workshop is tomorrow, February 27th from 4:15 to 5:15 in Belk Library Room 113. Then Thursday, a discussion called #MeToo on shifting society and campus culture. Everyone is invited to a discussion on how to build an understanding of the complexity of sexism and violence and how we can create a culture free from abuse of power. The event is this Thursday, March 1st from 12:30 to 2 p.m. in Newman Lumen. Lunch will be provided. Register by going to Phoenix Connect.
Tonight, one Elon team will be saying goodbye to its home. Our Miles Garrett is live in Alumni Gym where men's basketball is preparing to play its final home game of the season. Miles?
Thanks, Barry. Well, the Phoenix has called Alumni Gym its home for the past 70 years. But tonight, the men's basketball team will bid farewell to a facility that's played host to so many members. Jesse Branson, Tommy Cole, the women's run to the NCAA tournament just this past year, all have taken place on this very court. Now, on Saturday, the men officially celebrated Alumni Gym on senior night. Guys like Dimitri Thompson, Tyler Sebring, and Ryan Dawkins all got to give their own personal goodbyes to a place they've called home for the last 4 years.
I'm glad that I had my time here. It's a really cool place, you know. Alumni is a fantastic place, and there's a lot of people with a lot of great memories here, and that'll never be tarnished. But yeah, you know, we wanted to. Anytime we have a great fan section like that, you want to play really well and hopefully get that win. I definitely appreciate my time here.
Team will play their last game this Thursday, March the 1st in here. But tonight's game against James Madison does have a lot of implication for the men, as they're currently the 7th seed going into this weekend's tournament in Charleston. You can follow us live on Twitter at CAA or at ENN Sports. Live from Alumni Gym for the final time, I'm Miles Garrett, Elon Local News.
When we're back, a benefit concert for hurricane victims. We talked to the student behind it all.
You're watching Elon Local News.
Over $1,600 are going to help those in need, thanks to music, dancing, and one inspired Elon student. Our Megan Gittleman talked to the student behind the Hurricane Relief Benefit Concert and some of the people he's helping right here at Elon.
The act of kindness of a fellow artist
Jay-Z takes all my ideas.
inspired senior Kelsey Batchelor to take action.
I saw him do a benefit concert with his organization Title, and they had raised like millions and millions of dollars, and I was like, yo, this thing is actually really doable.
Bachelor went to work planning Helping Hands United, a benefit concert to help those whose homes were destroyed during Hurricanes Irma and Maria last fall, raising over $1,600, featuring local artists from rap to acoustic to classical. Bachelor performed under his stage name K-Fresh and says he feels it's important to use any gifts you have to help others.
We kind of have this focus on service learning, and it's like, what better way to learn about it than to actually do it? Like, at some point you have to stop talking about it and really do it.
Over 15 campus organizations came together to make the concert happen, including Elon's chapter of the Latina sorority Chi Upsilon Sigma. President Chamilex Bueno and Secretary Caitlin Lariano both have family on the island who are still without power.
To see so many people care about like my island, my family, it really is something that brings me such a great joy, because that's I consider my island to be part of who I am. So really, I see it as an extension of everybody almost reaching out to me.
Bachelor says that beyond being students or artists, it's important to be human first.
You never know when you're the next tragedy, and then when you're the next tragedy, you want everyone to care. So I think that we as people have to really shift and move into this selfless place.
Megan Gittleman, Elon Local News.
All performers volunteered for the concert. Caribbean and Latinx food was donated by Airmark. Security was donated by SGA, and lighting production was provided by Limelight Records. Funds from the benefit concert will go toward Community Foundation of the Virgin Islands, Unidos por Puerto Rico, and international relief teams. Managing editor of The Pendulum, A-Man, is live in the studio with a preview of this week's Pendulum. Thank you for joining us.
No problem. Glad to be here.
Thank you. And what can we expect from this upcoming Pendulum?
It's really a great paper. I talked to Dr. Book for about 30 minutes last week, and she gave me a lot of information about what she's planning to do when she gets on campus and what she's planning to do when she gets more involved. So she's going to do a lot of listening first semester, talk to a lot of students, go to SGA. Then after that, she's going to take out the legal schedule. After that, she'll be working on a strategic plan. So it's going to be a really good paper.
Well, what is your favorite story coming up in the Pendulum that we can get excited for here?
I think the favorite story will probably be the Connie story. Other than that, we're doing a story about Alumni Gym and how Alumni Gym is about to be gone. And other than that, too, we're doing a preview for the Black History Month concert, so it'll be a really good story, too. So it'll be good.
Wonderful.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
I appreciate you joining us, Emmanuel. That's all we have for you tonight. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter for all the news you need to know.
And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat at Elon News Network.
Have a great night, Elon.